What's up, everybody? All right, so I posted a blues solo, just kind of me riffing around while I was at work, and a few of you asked some questions about breaking out of the pentatonic. I did not stay, that was an E, but just I'm going to do these examples in A. I did not stay just in our basic pentatonic or even just our basic blues scale, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one note for each chord, the 1, the 4, and the 5. Each one fits specifically over those chords, that chord that I'm naming, and is out of the pentatonic. And the reason that is significant is if I'm just staying within this pentatonic the whole time, or even just within that blues scale the whole time, there is no definitive difference in the chords. And that's what I was doing yesterday, was I was kind of bringing out the voicing of each one of the chords and specific notes that differentiate each change, all right? So the first one we're gonna do, super easy. So if I'm in A here, and my A7, I'm gonna take this note, all right? So that is my major third. So the pentatonic is a minor scale, so the only third in there is minor. For some of you guys that do not know theory and scale degrees, that's totally fine. But to make it applicable, I'm gonna run down the pentatonic. That's my minor third. And when I get to this 5 on the 3rd string, hammer onto the 6, and then resolve it. Right? And however it is that you want to phrase that. But if you listen, this sounds much more pleasant than this does. That's my minor. Right? So this just has a sweeter sound to it. So if you want to mess around with that major, it's some of the guys that really do that. I mean, B.B. King stays so much in a major pentatonic, you know, and then he'll throw some of the minors in there, and it just really gives two completely different sounds. That's why I like to mess around with it. Really, while I'm doing those phrases, I'll stick to, if I were to switch, so if I have my minor third here, right, what I'll actually do in another phrase or just building off of this kind of major minor sound is, so here I'll stick to my minor third, right? Gives it a nice minor sound. And then in another phrase, I'll get that major third in there, right? Because that's my minor third, same deal. I'm just moving it up 1 fret. All right, now I usually like to do that, kind of gives a really specific sound. So that's the first note. Second note, it's going to be the same idea, the major third of our 4th chord, which is this note right here, my D. All right, so that means if I were to go down the pentatonic, that's it right there, okay? Now, the other cool thing about it is we can get the same phrasing. So when we switch to our 4 chord, so that's just in our scale, right? The 5th fret. That's our major and then minor third of the 4th chord, okay? Which, if you're going to be playing modally, is our 6th scale degree. The 6 is the third of the 4 chord, okay? For you guys that know the theory and the scale tones. So I love using that. I'll do this too, because this is the tritone, okay? If I'm moving too fast, sorry, but some of you guys are going to get this. If I play my D7 here, I have this tritone, which is a really dirty sound, and I'll do, right, so that's my minor third to major third, hammer on, while playing the flat 7 and giving this really nasty kind of sound if I really want to bring out that 4 chord. Lastly, on the 5 chord, I usually use this. All right, a whole step above my root note. So it's my root note. All right, now there is a third in there that I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to use it, or maybe I'll use it in an example and I'll really point it out. But that is a half step under my root note. All right, so, all right, that really breaks up the minor pentatonic sound. All right, and it's not always my favorite to use over the 5 chord. I really like this. All right, so I'm gonna, now just to show you guys another position. That's also where it is, and then to keep going. All right, so we have there. I kind of skipped over it that last time. There. All right, for you guys that can follow along. So I'm gonna play a couple of examples. Here we go, make sure this is loud enough. I'm gonna kind of talk through it a little bit. So that lick, started right in there with the 4 chord. That's that quick 4 on the second measure. So now I'm back to the 4. Right, for my 1 chord. I did a little trill right there for that major third, and then 5 chord. There on my 5, that second. So you guys can rewind, check out that video, check out the examples, and see if you really enjoy the sound of those. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to really embellish those. Also, that second fret, I do sometimes throw over that 4 chord. So that, I broke out. This is my 4 right here, so going all the way up there to that bend, right, is breaking out of that pentatonic a little bit more, but it's the same note, okay? So even just at that end, when it does the turnaround, 5, right? So I'm just doing something quick, right? Is my lick to end on that 5 chord. When I get to that 4 chord, I kind of do a, so it's on the 4, right? Just like that lick we did before. 6th fret on the 2nd string, 5th fret, and I'm leaving it. Hammering up to the note that the major third of our 4 chord, and then I'm just kind of going down because by that time my 1 chord starts setting in. So just some cool ideas for you guys to toss around. I wanted to, you guys can go through the examples, see how I'm using them, and then just kind of mess around, and it really brings out the changes. One thing that I really like to do with it is if I'm doing a gig where it's just me and my guitar, and I want to play some blues, you know, I can kind of do that like, right, and it starts to pull the 12-bar blues out without somebody playing. You know, it still has that feel. So something to do. Let me know what you guys think.